Isaac noticed the silence first. The mountain had been noisy on the way up, gravel shifting underfoot, birds startling from brush, his father's breath marking the climb, but at the top, sound seemed too thin, as if the world itself had stepped back. Abraham built the altar carefully, too carefully. Isaac watched his hands, studied, practiced, the same hands that had lifted him as a child, that had shown him how to tie knots, how to cut wood along the grain instead of against it. Those hands did not tremble now, and that frightened Isaac more than if they had. "Father," he asked, because the word still meant safety. It had always meant safety. "Yes, my son. We have the fire and the wood," Isaac swallowed. He had been carrying the question for most of the climb, feeling its weight grow heavier with each step. "Where is the lamb?" Abraham did not look up right away. When he did, his eyes were full, not with confusion, not with doubt, but with something like grief held in place by will alone. "God will provide," he said. The words landed between them, complete and unfinished all at once. Isaac helped anyway. He placed the wood where his father asked. He did not understand what obedience looked like when the path narrowed this much. But he had been raised inside trust. It shaped his instincts before fear could catch up. When Abraham turned to him, then when he took the rope in his hands, understanding arrived, sudden and sharp. The world tilted. Isaac's first thought was not death. It was mother. He thought of Sarah's laugh, wild and disbelieving, the sound she made when she held him as if he might vanish. He thought of how hard he had been hoped for. Promises should not end like this, he thought. Promises should grow old. "Father," he said again, softer now. The word felt fragile. Abraham's face broke. "I don't know how to do this," his father whispered, more to the air than to Isaac. "But I know who asked." Isaac's fear came in waves, heat, then cold. His mind reached for escape, for argument, for a reason this could not possibly be right. But beneath the terror was something steadier, the certainty that his father loved him, and that love was the very thing tearing Abraham apart. If this was faith, it was a terrible thing. They laid him on the wood. The ropes were firm but gentle, as if Abraham could not bear to make them hurt. Isaac stared at the sky, painfully blue, unchanged. He wondered if God was watching. He wondered if God remembered the promise spoken under stars that looked just like these. Is this what it costs? He thought. Is this what belief asks of the beloved? He did not scream. Not because he was brave, but because screaming felt like breaking something that had already been broken enough. The knife flashed in the sun, and then Abraham. The voice cut through the moment like breath returning to lungs that had forgotten how to breathe. Abraham froze. Isaac felt the tension leave his father's body all at once, like a dam giving way. "Do not lay a hand on the boy," Abraham sobbed, then opened, shaking. Undone, he dropped the knife as if it had burned him. He untied Isaac with frantic care, pulling him close, pressing his face into his son's hair as if to prove they were both still real. Isaac shook in his arms. Relief came tangled with something else, a new knowledge, heavy and permanent. Faith, he understood now, was not clean. It left marks even when the blade never fell. They heard the ram then, caught in the thicket, furious and alive. God had provided. The words finally had weight. Later, as they walked down the mountain together, Isaac noticed something else. The silence was different now. It was no longer empty. It was full of what had almost been, of what had been spared, of a God who had come frighteningly close and then stepped back. Isaac did not know how this story would be told. He only knew that he would carry it in his body forever, and that survival, too, could be an offering.